Hi, this is going to be a toned and 10 exercises with the Hooked on Pilates handy bands attached to the shoulder rest. The whole workout will be done on a light spring, so on a yellow. So I'm just going to take that small loop and just take it over the shoulder rest and then just wiggle it down until it gets underneath there, nice and secure. So this is a balanced body reformer. You'll have to experiment with your own reformers to see if this will work for you. So what we're going to do is always a good idea to start off with a little bit of footwork. So I'm on a light spring here, so that's going to wake up my core. I'm also on the balls of my feet. I'm in neutral spine, and from here I'm just going to simply press out, finding the length, use the core, and come back in. Just a nice little warm up here, sending those legs to straight and then bringing them back in. And pressing those legs to straight and bringing them back in. Very good. Press and return. Now let's add a little medial rotation and then go lateral. So my knees are going to knock in as I press out. That's medial rotation of the hips. And then circle into lateral rotation. Knees come in, feel the core work, and draw the carriage back to the stopper. Knees coming in and around. So from here, let's go ahead and press out for just a couple. Nice. Good. And then let's go ahead and press out. Medially rotate as you come in now. Let those legs fall apart into lateral rotation as you press out. Knees knock together and around. Just a nice, soft warm up. Just getting those legs moving, mobilizing through the hips, and waking up the core. And we'll just do one more here. Okay, so it's on a light spring, so I always say light means caution. So from here, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and bring those handy bands up just so they're easier to grab. So I'm just going to put the handles right around the shoulder rest there. And then from here, I'm going to drop the foot bar down. So we're not going to be changing the springs at all. And the handy bands are going to stay as is. We're now going to go into some kneeling inner thigh work. So you're going to carefully put your leg up on the wood frame first and then the other knee down. And so from here, we're just going to go ahead and grab the handy band. We're working right away. We're squeezing with our inner thighs to keep the carriage closed. And then from here, we're going to do hug a moon. Good. And now use those inner thighs to come all the way back. Turn and look over your shoulder. And then again, press out. Scoop the sunshine overhead. Full moon as fingertips touch. And then come all the way home and turn and look over that shoulder. And then hug a moon. Good. Fingertips touch. Use your inner thighs to return. Keep the carriage in as you turn and look over the shoulder. And then we're back to out. Try to keep that pelvis vertical in neutral spine. Return all the way. And take a turn and look over that shoulder. And we're back up. Should start to feel those inner thighs working. Turn and look. And then from here, stretch up. Keep that pelvis vertical. That's neutral spine. Turn and look over that shoulder. Make sure the stopper is being touched because you're squeezing those inner thighs. So when I come back here, I'm really working to keep the carriage in as I turn and look over my shoulder. This is a tough series for those inner thigh muscles. And turn. Let's have one more. So you're going to reach up and then come in and turn. So now we're going to go ahead and take the handle in the opposite hand, and then we're going to go ahead and do sword pull out and return. Get tall, squeeze on that stopper, and we reach out and return. Good. And reach and return all the way. Start position is work position. Reach that arm high and come all the way home. Squeeze with inner thighs, get tall, and reach into your sword position and return. Very good. And stretch and return. Let's have two more. Good. And one more. Very good. And then we're going to come in halfway. We're upright. Arm is under hand grip, holding elbow pointing out. Try not to move the carriage as we come down into a squat. Reach that arm out to the side. Squeeze the glutes, press the pubic bone forward and your back vertical. Try to keep that carriage from moving. And then come back up. And reach. Squeeze glutes and come up. And get down low and come back up. Squeezing and pressing pubic bone forward. Reach that arm out to the side and back up. Very good. And now let's just have three more. Good. Two to do. Keep those ab muscles drawn in. And one more. Very good. And then I'm going to return that carriage. Just going to hang that handle overhead. No, not overhead, over the shoulder rest. And pardon me, I'm going to put my back to you. I'm just going to grab that handle. Once again, carefully putting the knee on the platform side first, and then the other knee comes back on top. Very, very good. And so from here, hug a moon. We reach up, arms are up overhead, return all the way, start position, work position, and feel those fingertips touch those abs up and in, return fully. You're tall and squeezing on that stopper with inner thighs. You reach arms up and return nice and tall, and keep that pelvis vertical in neutral spine and return fully. Nice. And send it out and return. And five more. Very good. All the way. Make sure you close that carriage to the stopper with this inner thigh flow. That's really where the work is at. Good job. And let's have two more. Very good. One more. Nice. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and press out sword and return that sword. Find that stopper, squeeze on it. Push that arm out and then come all the way back and get tall. And get low. Reach that arm high. Return and squeeze on that stopper. And out. And return. Very good. And out. So yes, we're definitely working inner thighs and arms with this flow. And you're up. And return. It's also a good idea to pad that platform. And then let's just have two more. Very good. And one more. Excellent. Oops, and then we would just want to be out halfway. And then from here, underhand grip, we're going to get, we're up, and then we're going to get low, and then we're going to come up. And then we tricep extend out to the side, squeeze glutes and come up. Get low, squeeze and come up. We're strong and feeling it in those inner thighs. Get low and back up. Very good. Get down and up. I gotta adjust my knee. And down and back up. Let's have 3. Very good. And 2. And last 1. Nice. And return fully. And then we're just going to lay that handle over there, and then we're just going to carefully come off of that reformer. We're staying on that yellow. So then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our big box and we're going to bring it over here. So first we're going to drop the straps down into the well and make sure that those pulleys have a little bit of slack. Then we're going to lift this big bad box and put it on somewhat close to the pulleys, but not touching, making sure you're balancing it equally. And then we're going to step into the well. Nice. And then we're going to go ahead and put our feet on the headrest. We're on a light spring so the reformer can come towards us. So we want to make sure that we're kind of pushing with our legs towards the springs, because we don't want the reformer to move. The carriage to move. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to do round back with arm lifts. So from here, inhale to prepare, exhale, scoop through those abs, get posterior, pressing through those heels to keep the carriage home, and around those arms go. So it's scoop, posterior tilt, press into your heels, reach those arms up, and circle around. Nice. Scoop, posterior tilt. Keep that scoop as those arms reach and around. We're going to do 10. That's 3. Scoop and roll. Reach those arms up and around is 4. Scoop, roll back. And that's 5. Let's have 5 more. Scoop those abdominals. Keep them in. This is our abdominal and arm flow. Scoop and reach. And let's have 3 more. Big time scoop. Look like the letter C. Reach the arms up. And then let's have 2 more. Scoop, roll back, and back up top. And then just 1 more. Good. And then what we're going to do here is we're just going to put those handy bands on the box with us. We've got our feet on the headrest, yes, and so we're slightly leaning forward. From here, your feet are flat. Then you're going to lift your heels, keep squeezing those knees tight together, and release. So we're going to switch to some hamstrings. So you're going to pull and lift those heels and release. You can be totally vertical, but I find that when I'm leaning forward, I get out of my hip flexors a little bit more. So I'm going to be leaning forward. So keep in mind that as I pull the carriage to me, I want to lift my heels and squeeze those knees tight together, working with precision of movement. And then when we lift those heels and lower and lift and lower. Good, and lift. Now stay lifted in little pulses. Keep those knees squeezing nice and tight. Good, and pull, and pull, and pull, and pull. Use those hamstrings. That's it. Let's have 8 and 7. So in the pulses, we don't lower those heels. 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Very good. So now we're going to go back to some abdominals. Now it's going to be more of a straight back hinge. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and straight back and reach and down and up and back. Good. So hinge and punch and one more time on each side and back up. So we have to hold the hinge back position, abs are in, gaze is high, and return. Hinge it back, squeeze those knees if you can, reach it back. If it feels too much for you, just do 1 set of punches and come back, because that will cut down the time that you're back there. Good, punchy, punchy, and back up. So let's hinge and reach, and 1 more set of reaches and return. Hinge it back, reach, 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 and back up top, and 2 more. So we're hinged back, we got our set of punches, back up top, and then just 1 more. Good. Nice, lay those straps down, lean forward. Let's do a second set of those hamstrings. So draw in as tight as you can, squeeze those knees, lower heels, squeeze and release, lower, squeeze and lower. Very good. And just giving ourselves a little bit of time to recuperate. Active recovery is what I like to call it. Changing to a totally different body part, but still keeping the body moving. Nice. Lean forward if you feel it too much in your hip flexors. And nice. Now hold it in little pulses. That's it. Heels are high in our pulses. Abs are in. Try to squeeze those knees if you can. Pull and pull. That's it. Keep pulling. Nice work. Work it, work it, work it. Keep those legs close if you can. And let's have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very, very good. All right, and so from there, I'm just going to go ahead and lay those handy bands down. I'm going to step carefully out of the well and come on over. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to go ahead and work on some obliques here. So I'm going to be cognizant or aware of the line of pull. I wouldn't want to be in the line of pull. I want to be outside of it. And so from here, we're just going to be side bent, and then we're going to come all the way up and over to the other side. And nice. So it's kind of like I'm a little teapot and pouring to one side to the other. So use the core to come up to vertical. Use the opposite side of your core to get small on the other side. So just going back and forth, hit the up, go to the other side. Squeeze those legs nice and tight. Over, use the core, get tall, and side bend over. Very good. Nice, try to push those hips out, and then you come to vertical. Push those hips to the other side. Use the core to come back up. And switch back and forth. Awesome. And keep that going. And we're going to do 2 more here. Good. And last one. Excellent. So then from here, once again, being aware of the line of pull. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of balance with shoulder extension and hip extension. So from here, I'm going to softly bend my support leg and then go ahead and reach to the carriage, reaching the arm high behind me, and then come back. So if you don't need the hand hold on the carriage, just keep reaching it forward as you reach back, and then come back up to vertical. And then reach. Oops, I need a little hand hold. Ankle kind of still giving me a little trouble. You know, I had those ankles replaced last year. So I'm going to take a couple easier ones, find a little hand hold, but find the arm reaching behind me, the leg reaching behind me also. Good. Find my focal point and find my length. Good. I think for these last 2, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and not hold onto the carriage, focusing on my focal point. Re-engage here. And nice. Very good. And so then from there, we're going to go ahead and turn. It's a semaphore action. So I'm really pressing my hips over. I'm going to use my core to come back up. And again, triceps. Yeah, we're going to get over. Try to pull upright. Feels like it's too much resistance. Just a simple step in will change that for you. Good. Get your side bend. Use the core to come back up to vertical and over and back up. Hold and then side bend over. Nice. And let's just have 4 more. And reach, try to keep the shoulder down. Feel it in the tricep, not in the upper traps. Good job. And 2 more. And 1 more. Very good. So I'm just going to walk around to the other side. You could go completely to the other side, but this works also from this direction. So we're going to start off with a side bent position, and then we're going to pull up and over to the other side. Use the core to come back down. I should have put a heavier spring on for this because you saw how that carriage moved. So I just put on our heavier spring, the green. So if I would have done it on the other side, that wouldn't have happened. But we're going to pull and then go ahead and side bend over and then return. Use the core. And nice. Looks like the carriage is moving still, so I probably should have put on a couple more springs. But if you're doing it at your own studio, just walk around to the other side, and then you won't have to worry about that spring. But use that core to come vertical, and then over to the other side. Yes. So pull down on one oblique, and then over to the other side. Yes, and let's just have 3 more. Good, and let's have 2 more. And let's have one last one. Good. All right, and so then from there, we're going to go ahead and work on our hip extension balance. So from here, we're going to go ahead and start to come forward as we lift and then reach up and then push that arm back and lift. And very good. Reach and return. Press it back. And return. I'm going to try a couple without holding on. Yes. Let's go ahead and do 4 more. And now 3 more. Very good. 2 more. And one last one. Good. And then, we're going to go back to semaphore. So I'm really pushing my pelvis over. And then from here, I'm just going to come to vertical, squeeze, and then side bend, give myself a little overpressure, and up and over. Get tall and get small. And then reach the arm up, squeeze, and side bend for stretch. Use the core to come up and stay. And let's have 6 more. And we're up and return. Up and return. 4 more. Good job. Excellent. And 2 more. And last one. Good. So I tend to use the green handy bands often so that they're adjusted to the near end of the handle. But keep in mind that you can find that adjustment that works for you. So, and then you can just drop them down and we're all done with that workout. But if you stick around, I'll show that you can just have them down like that and then go ahead and attach the straps, and then you can still work like legs and straps and things of that nature. So, and they don't get in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and put that leg in and that leg in also. And who doesn't love legs and circles? Legs and straps, leg circles. So just showing how that's just one of the areas where you can attach the handy bands to your reformer Once again, this is a balanced body reformer. So I hope that was helpful for you. Thanks so much.